Welcome to The Explainer. OpenAI just dropped its latest model, GPT-5, and the internet is, well, going kinda wild. But what can it actually do? That's what we're here to break down.
That's a direct quote from an early user, and honestly, it pretty much sums up the vibe here. People are calling GPT-5 a massive leap forward, capable of some truly mind-blowing stuff. But what does that actually look like in the real world?
All right, so here's the plan for this explainer. We're going to look at the main upgrade to the experience, figure out who this thing is really for, dive into its frankly crazy creative side, and then we'll do a little reality check on its trade-offs.
Okay, let's dive right in. The very first thing you'll notice, the biggest change really, is just how much the whole experience has been simplified.
So if you've ever used the paid version, you probably remember that kind of confusing menu of models, right? You had to stop and think, am I using 4.0, 4.0 mini, something else? Well, forget all that. It's gone. Now it's just one single unified GPT-5 that does everything.
So how does it pull this off? Well, under the hood, the model is now smart enough to analyze what you're asking it to do. If it's a simple question, boom, it uses a light, super fast mode. But if you give it a really tough problem, it automatically kicks into these deeper thinking gears. And the best part? You don't have to do a thing.
And what this all means for you is speed. A lot more of it. For those simple, everyday questions, you're getting answers somewhere between 30 and 50% faster than before. It just feels way more responsive.
Okay, so it's faster, it's simpler, but who is it really for? Well, it didn't take long for early reviewers to figure that one out.
This quote from a product leader who got to test it out early just nails it. It perfectly captures the personality of this new AI. At its core, it thinks and talks like an engineer.
Check this out. It's a perfect example. Someone asked it to whip up a product plan. Now, older models would start with businessy questions, who's the user or why are we building this? But GPT-5? Nope. It skips all that and jumps straight to the what and the how. It immediately starts spitting out super detailed technical specs, the kind of stuff you could hand right to a developer.
And this engineering mindset is everywhere. People are calling it a tool-calling beast, which basically means it's super aggressive about using every single function and tool it can get its hands on. It loves to talk in detailed bullet points. It's fantastic at writing and cleaning up code, and yeah, it gets way more detailed and wordy in its technical answers than anything we've seen before. But this technical skill isn't just for writing boring documents. Oh no, this is where things get really wild. It leads to some absolutely jaw-dropping creative moments, like turning a single sentence into a working product. For example, check out this prompt a user gave it. Super simple, right? Just one sentence. You'd look at that and think, no way, that's impossible. Well, think again. It actually did it. It built a playable 2D game. It had working swing physics and momentum. You could even upload your own character sprite and it would just strip out the background for you automatically. And get this? When a bug showed up, the AI diagnosed the problem itself and rewrote its own code to fix it. On the fly. Okay, that's a game. That's fun. But what about something more practical, like for a business? Well, another user asked it to build a Kanban-style CRM, one of those boards for tracking sales deals. And the result is just a perfect showcase of what this thing can do. In a matter of minutes, it created a fully functional CRM with a drag-and-drop interface. But it didn't stop there. It added all these little polished details, shiny effects on the cards, a confetti explosion when you win a deal, and even a little sad shake animation when you lose one. I mean, come on. All from a single prop. But okay, as impressive as all that is, it's not a silver bullet. This intense focus on being super technical, it comes with some real trade-offs.
So is it a total slam dunk? Not exactly. Where does it fall short? Well, it turns out newer doesn't always mean better for absolutely everything.
Take a look at this comparison right here. Someone asked for a Star Wars party invitation. The older model, that's the one on the left, came up with something pretty slick and stylized. GPT-5 on the right, well, it gave back this really bland, kind of low-effort version. It just completely missed the vibe.
And this isn't just a one-off thing. Some of the old problems are still around. It's still prone to hallucinations, where it just confidently makes stuff up. The image generation, as we just saw, isn't really a clear improvement. And it seems to get tripped up when you ask it to use complex outside tools to get a job done.
So,
What's the big takeaway here? How should we really think about GPT-5?
Okay, here's the bottom line. GPT-5 is a seriously powerful, specialized upgrade. If you're doing technical stuff, coding, or building complex things from scratch, it's an absolute game changer, a true co-pilot for engineers. But that specialization comes at a cost. It can actually be a step backwards for some of those more creative or business-focused tasks. You really have to know what you're using it for. It's all about picking the right job for this powerful and very specific new tool.
And that leaves us with one last kind of mind-bending thought. One person who used it said, English is the new programming language. And when you think about it, if you can build an entire app with just a single sentence, what does that mean for the role of a creator? What does that job even look like anymore? Something to think about. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.